Welcome to Classic Comics Cavalcade. I'm Jason Sachs.
I'm Amir Malikpour.
We're doing another show and tell episode this week. It's fun stuff that we picked up and we want to chat about. What have you picked up recently that you love?
So I got a bunch of stuff but I also found some things. But one thing was this Friday, my favorite comic book store in the Bay Area in San Francisco specifically is called Silver Sprocket. They're also like an independent comics publisher, which kind of dabbles, or not dabble, but specializes in like independent literary comics, alternative comics, actually producing some of the self-published items, and just a lot of like, I think the cutting edge cartoonists they stock a lot of the cutting edge cartoonists, non-traditional, non-mainstream comic books. So Silver Sprocket is my favorite. And they had a signing with a double signing with two authors, two creators, cartoonist writers, M.S. Harkness and Caroline Cash. Which they had a signing, but in addition to that, they had a really cool reading. And so the thing that I picked up, so I already was familiar with Caroline Cash, and I can just show you a couple of things from her that I've purchased recently. It's Pee Pee Poo Poo from Caroline Cash, and it's kind of like I would say, of course, this reminds you of something, right? Like the 8-Ball.
Yeah.
So her comics are one-person anthologies, very similar to 8-Ball. And so her covers are generally parodies or homages to popular comics that she enjoyed or art. So this is the one that she did with the 8-Ball one, which is like kind of like the cover for it. And then this one I think is an homage to like a female alternative comics comic book, like women's comics or something, with
comics,
with who actually I thought was going to be there also. I forget her name, the famous Trina Robbins, exactly. I thought she was going to be there also. I was very excited, but that she was not. Unfortunately, Caroline Cash could not make it. However, I was exposed to an amazing new art. I mean, she's not new, but new to me, new creator called M.S. Harkness. And these are the two books that I got from her. And actually, I read them. I did get another one of her minis, 6-issue mini comics. But these are the ones that I actually finished and read. And it's amazing. I love them so much. I mean, who would think that she's a great creator. She basically, the stories about this, it's an autobiography comic about her, her rough upbringing and her being a student at art school and then graduating, and how she balances out trying to make money and trying to support herself and does her art. And then, of course, people she falls in love with, and she gets treated poorly by those men and those sort of things. So it sounds very like, but
show some inside pages, Amir.
Oh yeah. Just one thing I do want to say is if you delve into one thing I do love about her comic booking is that she's got all these different types of art styles. And she also alludes to some artists that we all like ourselves. So for example, so here's the book that just came out by Fantagraphics, Time Under Tension. And, she'll actually like interact with some cartoonists that you may or not know. So some examples, I wish I would have, there's a lot of amazing, like, there's really cool pages here that I should have bookmarked, but I would just recommend everyone just read themselves. One thing that's really cool about it is that, she has this cartoony style, but then she also does this is the one that's more prevalent. However, like whenever it gets serious, she does like a different cartoony style. It's like totally different, which is like, I'm a mark for that. Like if I see somebody doing like different types of cartooning in their artwork, or different, like go from cartoony thing, but I'm sorry, I don't have the exact terminology for it, but going from that to like almost like photorealistic to impressionistic, I just go gaga for that sort of stuff. And she's amazing. I think here's another style that she does within the book, depending upon what the story is about. So this is the other book. This is the one that came out prior, called Desperate Pleasures. Essentially, this is the start of while she's in school and she decides to like get a personal trainer certification. And then this second book that came out from the first one was done by Uncivilized Books. Second one that came out is by Fantagraphics, where she's actually like in the midst of getting that test, like passing that test and getting hired, and then also like throughout she has relationships with a one particular person, a male, I mean, romantic thing. So it's great. I loved it. I think one of the things about it is that there's some MMA, like some fighting involved. I'm not a MMA person, although I know a lot about it because I used to have roommates who were really into it, and I knew a lot of the fighters and a lot of the terminologies. And so she's very like in that world as well. So it's like bodybuilding and like fighting, and her action art is really like, it makes a lot of sense. Like, so great
Sounds really
artist, great
cool.
creator, I highly would recommend her work.
You gotta get a whole portrait of her life. Like it's got a lot of stuff about aspirations and
Mhm.
approaches and things she loves to do and just her personal life too. Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I definitely recommend. And then she also did an amazing reading. Like it was really fun. It was like really funny and fun. Like, so that was really good.